identification.
Let's go.
Welcome. Welcome. Happy Monday. I think it's still Monday. Oh boy. Let me shut this thing off. It's going crazy. There we go. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. I'm waiting for vehicle get done being worked on so I can start driving it around instead of the truck, because it barely makes it up this hill anymore. I went and got soil this morning and barely got it up to the top of the road here. Got one of my beds filled up because soil just erodes whenever it rains. It dissolves and goes down into the earth and all that fun stuff. So in the process of getting the whole garden out is harder than it seems when you only have partial days that you can work. And that's why I'm going live now. I'm not going live because I'm trying to go over somebody else's live. Yes, I know the girls are going live tonight. And if you want to go watch the girls, be my guest. I'm not forcing people to be here. If you want to go to somebody else's live, that's fine. People sometimes go live when somebody else goes live. It's just a thing. I'm mainly working nighttime, so I can't go live when I used to go live. So whenever I get a day off, it makes sense for me to try to go live. And I'm not going live because somebody else is going live. I don't do that. Right now, if you go search how many people are live right now, there's 18 million people live on YouTube right now. So there's a lot of people going live at the exact same time. It's just a thing. But I just wanted to get up here and go live for a little bit. I'm not going to be on too long. Even though I've said that before and ended up 2 or 3 hours later. But there's so much going on. I've found out a lot of stuff from the shipping side of what is going on from other countries. And it's probably the countries that are butthurt because of tariffs and things like that. They are holding or withholding certain shipments if it's going to United States. And I understand why they're doing it. They think they're hurting the other side, but it may hurt for a little bit over here, but eventually it's going to hurt them more than it is us because they're losing the money. And there are grain shipments that are being diverted instead of coming to the United States where they were originally going to be headed. They've been diverted. And all this, everybody can look this up. You can find the ships and you can get the manifest to where it comes from and where it goes. And you can see that, it's been diverted to so-and-so country instead of where it was originally. And a lot of grain shipments, also rice. So if you haven't already have a stockpile of rice, It's probably a good idea. You'll start seeing rice, gradually start going down, or things with rice will go up, stuff like that. Certain computer parts um, are going to start being, the price will start going up unless you can buy it from the other country and have it shipped over, but you're going to pay that hefty $300 or $400 in shipping. My friend, I did 4 bags of cans today in 2 glasses. Yeah, I remember those. I was actually a bottle manager at uh, a grocery store up in New York. You'd be surprised how much stuff comes in. We got these big, I think they were 75-gallon trash bags, and we would have to change those out probably at least 30 times a day, because when you put a can in, it goes in and gets shredded. And if you put a 2-liter bottle in, it would get shredded and it would go into another department. But we would have to empty those bags at least 30 times a day. And that's because New York has a deposit system to where you have to pay the deposit, and then you get the money back when you turn them back in. Yeah, I've got my eggplants sitting on the porch. That's how I hardened my stuff in this year. Instead of putting them out in the yard, I just left them under inside my porch. That way, if it frost or anything, it was protected somewhat. Oh yeah. Well, they have bins now. We used to have the big bags, and then we would lift the bag up and put it in a cart and take it back, and um, all that stuff had to be locked up too, which I thought was weird because you can't get a deposit back on shredded cans and um, bottles. Yeah, I haven't done the kidney beans yet. I should have already. Uh, some of the stuff I won't be able to get planted this year. The pumpkins, um, probably not, because one hillside that I wanted to do, I wanted to plant them up top and have them go downhill. I didn't get the stuff for it, and I need to fix the spouting and a bunch of stuff, so I didn't get to that. I've got I've got more plants out there than I do um, space to plant them. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything. I've got one more bed and um, that weird bag bed thing that I used last year. I'll probably use that again this year. Um, and buckets. That's all I have left. I still have to do potatoes, which I'm a little late on getting the potatoes into, but I don't have to worry about, frost or anything. Yeah, cucumbers. Oh, my cucumbers took a beating. I don't know if out of all 3 of them that I planted, I think only one of them's going to make it. So I may have to go get more. If that's the case, hopefully I can find the right variety, because I like the English ones. Those are real nice. And got up early and went to, because where I work, and got topsoil. I wasn't too sure how the topsoil was going to be, so I actually got a bag of manure also, which I don't like doing, because if I get it, I like let it set a year and then I'll use it. But I didn't have much choice in the matter, so I actually got some topsoil, which is topsoil was really good. I mean, it had compost in it and everything, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good stuff. I can actually work with it. And I put the manure in there, which the manure was, cow manure with compost mix, so wouldn't be too hot. So um, I mixed it all and put my fertilizer in there, and pulverized lime, and yeah, got that bed planted. I got peppers in there, and I'm growing more Roma tomatoes this year. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But like I said in a video, I think it was yesterday. I can't keep track of my days anymore. Yesterday or the day before, I want to do more canning. So hopefully next time I can, the neighbors will be quiet, because they will put it. They're real graphic. I'll put it that way. They're above rated R. And when you're trying to make a video, you don't want that in the video, because I would get flagged all the time. Just get seed potatoes. Go to a farmer's market, or not a farmer's market, but a Tractor Supply or something like that, and actually get, because a lot of that stuff is on sale. Ours at Rural King is right now at 50% off, which I've got some sitting in the window, so they should be ready to go. You would think so. And I'm just amused how people talk in a group or something that's not in public, I guess you would say, of how many times they can say the F word in a sentence. I think it's they try to break records or something. And yeah, it's just, it amazes me. I've never been one. Maybe when I was a kid, or if I get mad, uh, language goes flying. But I've never been one to have to explain something by using curse words, unless you get mad. Which that should be a normal thing. But like I said, there is a lot of countries right now, and they may or may not be getting their tariffs raised or something, or they're all just standing together type of thing. But I think it makes sense to find out these items and prepare for those items. Hey, Jim.
Hey, what's up? I didn't hear if you were going live. We got a little problem in the kitchen. The sink stinks from the drain. We put everything in there. I just filled the sink up when I was using the plunger.
Oh. Do you got a snake?
It's not going to work. No, I don't have one anymore. I left it at the old house
Ah,
because of the bend in the pipe. It's like I made headway. Cord came out of it. It's the drain pipe.
yeah, you'd be surprised. Well, it depends how big the snake is, because those things can bend. I've bent them around low hooks. You It depends which ones you get too, because I've got one that has a crank on it, but you can also hook the drill up to it. And it's best to have two people using it at the same time. That
Mm-hmm.
way you can have one feeding. Because if you have somebody feeding and one holding on to the drill, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, because you figure the house is 22 and a half years old.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, we had a snake at the old house, but that wouldn't have worked here. That was for the toilet.
oh yeah. Yeah, I've got a universal one because I used to work for a real estate guy that had rentals and stuff. So they'd say, "Hey, we got to clog this. Go down and see if you can get it unclogged." They would rather spend $50 to $100 on me than call a plumber in that charge them $400 or $500.
Yeah, the water goes down. It just stinks. You figure where the bend is, sediment gets in there and it sticks to the pipes. And I hate using any chemicals having a septic system out here.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it's mainly the gas.
we put vinegar down there. Later, we tried bleach.
Well, when you put vinegar down there, you're fermenting it. if if it's food, so
It
and
smells
you
like
gotta watch putting different chemicals together, because you can actually make the bad
caboose.
stuff.
Yeah. So you think bad stuff's coming?
Huh?
You think bad stuff's coming? I do too.
I don't know, something. It's just, it's it seems.
Look what all
And
these politicians are saying, like Cory Booker, what he said a few weeks ago, and AOC.
yeah, if you go, and it's because I'm around people all day, and um I'll watch them, and they're just like, they have these things on their eyes, invisible things that blocks what they see and what they're doing. um I've been hit twice with a vehicle. I've been up on somebody's hood, banging on their windows, telling them to stop.
When did this last happen?
Oh, in the last 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. It's not, and I have a big orange vest on, or kind of yellow, I guess it is yellow and orange.
You think it's on purpose?
No, it's just people. They're not they're not here. They're just, in their own dream world.
I know people. I see people. The light turns green, especially when it's to make a left, and the people are just sitting there
Yeah.
at intersections.
Um, I'll be pushing these carts, and they'll drive straight for me, and it's like, you're in a big car. It's a lot easier for you to go around me than it is for me to move all these carts on the other side so you can get through. And it's like, hello. it's amazing. Or I'll be pushing the carts in, and people walk in front of me, and then they'll go real slow, and I'm like, oh. And I have to sit there and wait for them to get through the door and everything, which usually I wait, if depending on who it is or whatnot.
I went to a Dollar Tree the other day, and it's the one closest to us. I don't like the store, and there's all these people in the aisles, and they got the cart sideways, and you can't get by, and they see you, and they still like. It's almost like, am I invisible? I'm gonna
Yeah.
try that thing to be.
And usually when I go to a grocery store and I have a lot of stuff, or I never have a lot of stuff, but if I got like 5 or 6 things in the cart or something like that, and somebody's behind me with 1 or 2, I say, go ahead and go in front of me or something like that. Well, today I went in and I just got a couple things, and I was going to let the lady behind me go until she started like this, and I said, I'll stay the way it is. And she kept grunting and making noises because I wouldn't let her go in front of me.
Well, you were first.
And the thing is, she had 2 more things than I did.
People are impatient. It's been a while. You go to the Dollar Tree store and you see a whole shopping cart full of food. I'm thinking, okay, occasionally some of this stuff it's fun to eat, but if that's your main source of food from the dollar store,
Well, the thing is, the dollar store, Dollar General, Family Dollar,
mm-hmm.
those stores are meant to be where they're at,
Yeah,
because less and less people can afford a vehicle nowadays. So people walk to there that's where they go grocery shopping.
and I felt bad. The checkout woman had to be in her mid-70s, and she was going so slow.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's you would be surprised how many older people are working now. And
Yep.
the thing that got me with Hillary Clinton, blabbing upset because Trump wants, Americans to make more babies, to
Yeah.
bring the birth rate up, which it's at a low time. It's the lowest it's ever been. So what does that mean in 10, 20 years?
Our popular.
You're going to have a lot of old people
Yeah.
working still, and still these younger people don't want to work.
I know, and the thing is, there's a lot of people my son's age in their 30s, and a lot of these guys. Well, part of it's because they're in the entertainment industry and they travel too much to really settle down. But you figure the cost of living has gone so high. I figure when we were kids, it was just the father worked. It was rare that the mother worked.
Yeah.
Like some women worked more just for something to do after their kids grew up, really. And I know the thing is, there's going to be, you figure with where they've been taking the money for Social Security, there's going to be a shortage of funds for Social Security when people retire in our age group.
Well, see, that's the thing is, once the Gen X starts passing off, you sit there and think of the labor force is going to disappear, and the next generation that this birth rate is so low, that generation, there's not going to be enough people to fill in the jobs that, for restaurants, for making food, the farmers, all this stuff.
High skilled labor.
There's not going to be those people anymore.
Yeah, you figure there's a shortage of electricians, plumbers, HVAC people already in this area.
And that's why Hillary says, well, that's why we need to bring the immigrants back so they can do all this stuff.
They don't have the skills. And when people say, oh, they'll do work Americans won't do, that is so racist. Because I've had conversations with the customers from, ethnic backgrounds. And a lot of people, I've met people from India that are excellent business people that have their own small business.
Oh, yeah.
And they hate, a lot of them are real conservative. They hate when people, put down that they'll do work other people won't do.
Yeah, I did the immigrant work, whatever you want to call it. I picked tomatoes, I picked oranges, bell peppers, in Florida. I remember getting 25 cents a bucket, and it wasn't a 5-gallon bucket. It was like a 10 gallon bucket or something like that. That I couldn't pick because I was a little kid. and they give you a ticket for every one that you fill, and that's how you made money. And there wasn't no life insurance or health insurance or all these benefits or stuff. You came and you did your work, and
Went on.
yeah.
And you figure people in our parents' age group, my parents had 3 kids. They didn't have health insurance. Going to the hospital, paying for a baby to be delivered wasn't nearly as expensive as it is now.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was living with my grandpa, neither one of us went to the doctor. If there was something wrong, he'd go out in the woods and fix it.
How do you fix it out in the woods?
Herbal remedies.
Okay, herbal, natural stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And you would think if you go into his kitchen, he'd think, oh, is a witch live here? Because he had herbs hanging down, wild edibles and all kinds of stuff. If I went in there, asked him, oh, I got a headache, can I get an aspirin? He would look at me weird. What's an aspirin?
The aspirin is probably, I think, the safest thing from what I've read. Not that I'm any expert or giving medical advice. Far safer than ibuprofen, or acetaminophen.
Well, not anymore. It used to be. It's not what it used to be.
Because you figure they did an about face. For years they were saying people take a baby aspirin, it can help prevent heart attacks. Then they're telling you not to take one.
Well, it's a natural blood thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have me on blood thinners because of my leg, because the muscle. Basically, they take the muscle part, because I cut it in half.
Going through the window.
They folded it over and sewed it to the top part of the muscle. So anytime it's kind of a restriction. So they said, well, that's where blood clots will form. So they kept me on a blood thinner, which was aspirin, and my teeth started to bleed out of nowhere. I would get bloody noses, and if I cut myself, it wouldn't clot up or anything. And I told my doctor, I says, I'm going to stop taking these things because it's doing more harm than good.
Mm-hmm. You figure every drug has some kind of side effect.
Oh yeah. Well, look at the commercials.
I know.
It's about 5 seconds telling about the good stuff, and then 45 seconds telling you about all the side effects.
Yeah, then I see stuff on forums where doctors are talking about, Ozempic and the generic version of that, about what's going on.
Oh, I hate the hay. I hate the straw.
Oh, I don't like hay rides at all. You get a rear end full of straw.
Well, what they do here, they keep it in a semi trailer, and it's stacked up, and there's probably maybe 8 or 10 rows left. Now, what we're supposed to do, as soon as we open the trailer and give it to the customer and whatnot, we're supposed to keep about halfway mark full of about 10 to 20 bales. And then we're toward the end where all the other bales are, we keep a stairway to the higher ones so we can pull it off, and we don't have to wait to the end and have 3 rows high and try to pull them down. Somebody, which I know who it is now, but somebody doesn't follow what the others do. So when it comes time for our shift to start or something, and we go to get straw, we have to go all the way to the back, pull it down from the top, and then go all the way to the front and give them the straw.
DFD is a ladder over to reach the high stuff.
No, that's why we make stairs to go up.
You go up. I was going to say,
somebody keeps taking the stairs because they're too lazy to replenish
to
things.
stock it properly.
Yeah. Yesterday, when I got there, all the carts were out in the parking lot. So I clocked in early, and it's a warning. You need to tell your supervisor you clocked in too early. And which I got it okayed because there was no carts. Everybody came in and said, "Where's carts?" So I went out and what was it? Maybe 10 minutes, brought every cart back in. And then another one of our jobs is to take batteries to the back and stack them, the core batteries. So,
cores, yeah.
So the cart was triple stacked, and you're not supposed to stack batteries without something in between because you're going to start a fire or
it could short out
or anything. But it was stacked 3 high. That means nobody did it all day. So I hurried up and took that back and emptied those, got back, and I go back to the load lane. We didn't have Miracle Grow, and it's our top seller, a 2 cubic potting soil, Miracle Grow potting soil. It was gone. We didn't have it in the front of the store. We didn't have it in the loading lane. And I looked back there. We didn't have potting soil, topsoil. Everything was missing. And I'm like, either it was extremely busy or somebody just didn't do anything today. And I brought it up to one of the full-time workers today. I said, it must have been real busy or something because I had to replace a bunch of stuff in the load lane yesterday. Oh, it must have been so-and-so working here that day. So they already know who it is, evidently. But the problem is nobody wants this job. Everybody quits this job. And I don't think it's that bad. It gets busy to where you have to load 50 to 100 bags at one time, but
it's good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too many young people that just don't want to do anything that, physical labor.
Oh yeah. Yesterday we were 25 bags of mulch, and the mother told the kids to get out there, and these are teenage kids, it's not like little bitty kids, and said, help load. And I'm already on 10 bags before they get out. And one kid grabs one and throws one in, and he says, I'm done. Other one didn't even get the bag to the back of the truck. And I said, it's about normal.
I couldn't picture them doing what I do every day.
Oh, the boss, the manager of the outside, he says the worst thing about this is the walking. And I said, oh, that's no problem. And the first few days, my legs were so dead by the time I got home. Really did. But I started getting used to it. And he said, believe it or not, he's got one of those Apple watches that track how many miles he walks and whatnot. And he says in a normal day, you'll do about 12 to 14 miles in a 6-hour day. And he said in a busy day, you'll get 19 to 20 hours or 20 miles in a day. And I was like, it can't be. I mean, it's not that big of an area, but The first time I wore my watch to check and see how many miles I was walking in a day, I was like, holy crap.
How many was it?
19.
Really?
Yep. And that wasn't a very busy day. It was just, you know, you have to make sure that the carts are always in there, and then when a load out comes, you have to load the vehicle. And then there's sometimes where you have to, those big 300-pound tubs, mineral tubs that the cows and horses lick on.
Yeah.
Nobody told me how to move those. So there's a loadout of 2 of them. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to pick that thing up. So my idea was, I got the forklift and I got another pallet, and I scooted it next to the top one because they're triple stacked, and I kept tipping it back and forth till I got it over the edge, and then I got it on the one pallet, and then I raised the pallet up and backed it to the side of the truck and tipped it sideways to where it slid right in there. And he says, "Looks like you've done this before." And I said, "That was the first time."
I hope nobody in a compact car comes there and asks you to put one in their car.
Oh no. Those things are heavy. I didn't realize how heavy they were.
Hey, Steph Richard, good to see you.
Yeah, our bells of straw is $9.95, and it's the cheapest around, even from farmers. And I'm like, are you serious? I remember complaining about it being expensive for $1 or when it went up over $1.
I remember when straw was $2 a bale and mulch hay was $1 a bale. It's all because of the price of fossil fuels. I mean, even though fuel's going down in price, it's going to take a while, from what I've been reading, for Trump to undo everything that was done in the last administration.
Oh yeah, even if he gets to it,
because he's got so much stuff on his table.
Yeah, I mean, he could lay the stepping stones to getting out of it, but it all depends on who comes up next.
Then the thing is, the fact that oil's gone down to like $60 a barrel. One day it's below 60, the next day it's a hair above 60. It's not as profitable for the drillers to drill it. I mean, it's still profitable, but when oil goes down in price, you know, they kind of lose interest, I guess.
Yeah, that company, their seeds are really good. I'm because I was hooked on Haas Tools for not saying anything bad about them because they still have good stuff, but yeah, since I've been with this company, especially their wild herbs, like mullein and stuff that you usually don't find seeds for unless you go out and harvest it yourself. They have so many of these herbs like that. And I was like, wow, they come up really good.
Oh, I was surprised when I went to the dollar store to get some squash seeds. Well, I was looking for other stuff. I thought, may as well get them. They said non-GMO on them. I was surprised.
Yeah, but can you trust that?
Yeah, I know. Because I know my wife likes butternut squash, and that's what I got.
Yeah, that it, like I said, there are some seeds that I was like, wow, I didn't. And they have this new and I don't know if they got back to me because I haven't looked at my emails for a while. They have a medical for just herbs. It's I think there's 18 or 20 packs in it, and it's okay. Then then you got the herb pack. Okay. Because when I first came across the company, they sent me and they don't have this anymore, but it's a 31 different seeds packs, and it's full packs too. It's not like has 7 seeds in it or something like that. Some of these have a lot of seeds in them, but I got a medical herbal pack that had 31 different plants in it, seed packs, and I was like, wow. Because I didn't think it was actual a thing, and yeah, I was like, oof. Yes, I got to work tomorrow.
I think the seed packs for vegetables have gotten smaller.
Oh yeah,
They've gotten. They
and
used to be way
price
bigger.
went up higher.
Yeah, because you don't get that many. You figure, look how small tomato seeds are and pepper seeds.
Oh yeah, that's why, um, like the Cherokee tomatoes, I bought 1 pack from Hostels 7 years ago or something like that. I'll take 1 or 2 tomatoes. I basically let them rot on the vine. Then I take them and I harvest the seeds from them, and I have 10 times as many as I started with, because you'd be surprised how many seeds you can get out of 1 tomato.
Yeah, you can get a lot out.
Yeah.
Pretty soon these stores ought to start having clearance price on the seeds too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, Fall is a good time because you can a lot of seed companies want to get rid of their seeds for that year.
Because I know Walmart usually sells out around here.
I don't do the Walmart seeds.
No, but I'm just saying, and they usually don't even have the thing I noticed just going to Walmart over the years. I hardly ever go there. It seems like all of a sudden the seeds are gone. So I said to one person, just out of curiosity, do you have any Swiss chard seeds? They said, well, we took them off display. I said, you didn't have a clearance price? They said, no. I said, what are you going to do with them? He said, well, they'll have them for next year. I'm thinking, for next year?
Yeah.
Tractor Supply is a much better store to deal with.
Shh. Not supposed to say that name.
Why?
Because I work at Roll King.
I know, but there's no Royal Kings around here.
Yeah. That's just like don't never buy chickens from Tractor Supply either.
I don't plan on raising chickens.
The thing is, I don't like talking bad about other companies or anything, but Tractor Supply gets their chickens in, they put them out right out on the floor. If they're sick or not, they go out on the floor. They get mixed in with the ones that are already been there.
I've never seen them at the Tractor Supply near us.
Well, you understand the reasoning behind why it's bad. Like us, we had Rural King, where it's at, used to be the old Walmart, where it didn't have a grocery store part. It just was Walmart, and it has an upstairs part to where the offices and stuff used to be. That's where we keep all of our critters up there. The chickens, turkeys, ducks, those type of things. When they come in, they get quarantined in their own container, which is, that the metal thing that I've shown in my videos a few times. They have to be there for 7 days. If any of them show any sickness, they are removed from that group, and then they have to be there for another 7 days. That's to make sure that the customer isn't getting sick animals.
Because one will just infect the rest of them.
And that's the difference between Roll King and Tractor Supply. Just on that. We
Like
won't
I said,
mention feed or anything like that.
well, the one, it's Harleysville, PA, technically. I've never seen any peeps there ever. I don't even know if they sell chickens.
Yeah, that and this, um, which I found odd. The AC and the heat controls for the store,
Hmm.
the thermostat. There's no thermostat in the store. It's at corporate, and they can turn the AC up or turn it down. um, I walked into from outside, and it feels like there was heat inside the store, and I'm like, why is it hotter in here than it is outside?
I had no idea that that was controlled from a corporate location.
Yeah,
I
the
guess they
same
got
thing
hacked.
at Walmart's and stuff. All the climate and everything is controlled at a corporate location.
They're trying to control everything.
Oh yeah, that's their way of saving money because they don't want somebody cranking the AC up and wasting an extra $1.50 a day or something.
Do they play music at the store at Royal King?
Yeah, that's why I can't record stuff in there too much.
If it's too hot, crank up some AC. Don't tell me the corporation's in charge of the music too.
They have the music's fine. It's country music and gospel music. Um, modern. It's more modern gospel and stuff. But they have um, all kinds of, and it's not like off-brand country. It's name brand country. That's why I can't record in there. If you hear, you could probably make out the music, but I hurry up and put in my shorts. I'll hurry up and put my phone down next to the chickens or the ducks, or because once they start quacking or twerping or whatever, you can't hear the music.
Now, the Tractor Supply store in our area, it's about 8 miles from here. That used to be a rural area, but it's not anymore because of
Oh,
all.
that's a lot of places now.
I know it's because all the people that were brought in here.
Well, even way before that. I remember when I was real little, when we went to Phoenix, there used to be desert in between um, Phoenix and Glendale and Tempe, Arizona, and Mesa, Arizona. There used to be desert in between it. Now it's one big city because there's no separation. It goes from um, one city to the next city without you even batting an eye. It's so huge.
It's sprawling suburbs, then, really, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, same things happen here. Outside of Allentown, it used to be pretty rural, and areas like Macungie, which was all farming. It's a shame. Best some of the, it's just the same soil they have out in Lancaster. A lot of the farms were sold off because the kids didn't want to do it because how much they got for the real estate.
I was talking to my son today. I thought, because I'm trying to figure out, did my hats get bigger or something? And it's because I've lost so much weight. I had to tighten up my hats
He lost
because,
some head fat.
and I'm like, was my head that fat? Did I have that much fat on my head? I'm like, it was only one size, but you can feel it. It wobbles around, and I'm like, did I have that much fat on my head?
Now you got me thinking.
Well, that's and because I can feel it around my waist because I'm having to tighten my belt up so much. And I got scared today because I couldn't get my belt to work. And I'm like,
You
oh
couldn't
no,
get,
what am I going to do? Because I don't have any clothes that fit me.
yeah,
So
I have a problem with belts too. One size is too tight, and the next bigger size is too big.
well, I don't do the whole button thing. It's a military type.
Yeah, I got to get an adjustable belt.
I've got another one around here, but I have no idea where it is. But I like this one better. And actually, this was sent to me in a review. Again, companies will send me stuff, and then I'll email them back, and they never get back to me because I need more information. I can't just say, hey, here's a belt. I don't know where it come from, but you can go buy it if you want.
Yeah, the quality of belts have gone down the toilet. They're all made in China. They're not just one, like, even if it's fake leather. Instead of just being one piece, they're all seamed. Because I bought a Dickies belt from Walmart a few years ago. In a few months, the whole thing was just separating, right where the holes were from body perspiration.
Yeah, they want us to wear or have these little plastic knives with the, you pop out the blade, and I bring my own knife
Wait,
because those plastic things, I think, is more dangerous. And I know why they want us to use it so we don't slice into the product, but
is the blade plastic too?
no, it's a regular razor blade, but
Oh, okay.
after about 2 uses, it's dull as a piece of gravel or something. But
Is it a utility knife?
yeah, but it's a cheaper version of that.
Okay.
But we were cutting the plastic around mulch, and he's using that utility knife, and he's going like this, and I grab a hold of it and went all the way down. And I use the serrated end. Here, I'll show you what I use.
Ziggy, I don't like pans with elastic. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a military belt.
Oh, this is the knife I use right here. And for plastic, that way I don't use this too much, because if I do, it goes really fast. So I use this, and it's still sharp, but I'll put my thumb on it like this and go straight down.
That's not the plastic knife they have for the store, is it?
No, this is my knife.
That's what I was gonna say. I could use that to gut a deer.
Well, you could, yeah. And it's like I said, it's a sharp knife, even though I've been using it quite a bit. And we had got we were out of, because Roll King is famous for free popcorn and coffee, and we ran out of the little bags that people put the popcorn in. So the lady was up there trying to cut open the box that they came in with scissors, and I'm like, hold on, and I went like this, and, and don't let the boss see you have that.
I like popcorn, but it just you got to use dental floss to get it out of your teeth. Why it gets stuck between my teeth?
We get people that will come in there and they'll get a thing of popcorn. And they'll go over and sit in a wheelchair and watch people come in, and they'll eat their popcorn, and they'll go out and get more popcorn. Just sit there for an hour to 2 hours, just sitting and watching people coming in and out of the store eating popcorn. I'm like, you must have a very boring day.
That is. And I couldn't take it. If food gets stuck between my teeth, I got to get it out right away.
Well, the one lady, I don't think she has teeth, so that'd be okay for her, I guess.
And John Johnson, my father used to wear suspenders. They put them on me when I was 3 years old. I couldn't take them.
Yeah, I'm not sure who makes this
I'm
one,
gonna get a
but
drink of water.
it's been a good belt so far. Because I didn't wear a belt because I didn't need one. But since I've done the carnivore thing now, since I'm working out in the sun all day, I've shed the pounds. Dental floss in your car, which is not a bad thing because you can use dental floss as a stitch for stitching up a wound. The minty stuff kind of burns, but it works. Don't ask me how I know that. I may or may not have been stitched up with mint flavored dental floss before. Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, I'll have to find that other belt. The other belt I actually bought, and this one came to me in a nice fancy box and everything. I have the box somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. I get like I've said this before. I'll get stuff sent to me. Some of it is pure junk, and I store it in boxes. And I have like a card table type thing. It's actually for it's just a long table. You can guess what it's for. It's for beer pong, but it's a good table. And I have that thing stacked about 3 high of boxes of stuff that gets sent to me to do reviews. And you would be surprised on the stuff that gets sent to me that they don't send any information, or they just send it and don't say, hey, show it to people, or tell them where it's from, or they just send it. And I try to get a hold of them if I think it's a good product. Like I got this auto watering system that hooks up to your cell phone, that I can turn the water on, turn it off, or time it, or whatever, all with my cell phone. But they won't send me any information on it.
Yeah, but somebody's got to turn the faucet on though, right? For the hose.
Yeah, you turn it on, and then you use your cell phone to turn it on from there. So
Okay.
you leave the water on all the time. You just use your cell phone because it has 4 little areas, and you control each one. So if I have one hose going to, like, say, the 2 raised beds over here, and I have the other one going to my potatoes, I hit a button, say water for 1 hour on my tomatoes, water for 2 hours on the potatoes. That eventually I'm going to get that hooked up, hopefully.
That won't work for me because my faucet outdoors, it leaks a little, so I put a bucket underneath the thing.
Oh,
I got a question. Is your knife looks a lot like mine? Does yours see the?
I've got a couple like that.
Yeah, somebody gave me this a few years ago that I gave a deer to.
I have probably a few hundred knives. a lot are sent to me. Well, I've got probably.
If somebody wants to send me, a company wants to send me a knife for a review, I'll review that.
Here's another one. Here's another one. Like I said,
I know you like Red Wing shoe stuff, Richard. I never had the Red Wing.
I think that's it. Nope, there's a couple more over here. There's the blue blade or blade bolt one. I think they just sent me another one too. Is this no? Where's the other one they sent me? Or did it come yet? Nope, here's another one. That's the OdenWolf.
You got about as many knives as 101 has flashlights.
Probably. Here's another little one. Like I said, I can spot knives. Here's another one over here. This is a pocket knife.
That's a big pocket knife.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's legal in New York City.
No. No. I think one blade's like a good bit. Gerber, I don't. If they send them to me, I'll show them, but I don't like them. It's Chinese junk.
Okay.
And the only reason they're popular is because of that doofus that likes to eat or drink his own pee and stuff. Bear Grylls. And he used to be good at first, and then, popularity got to the show to where they had to film so much. So he'll say he's out in the wilderness doing this and that, and the camera pans around and there's a road right there where cars are going by. Now, Survivor Man, that's a whole different story. He goes out and films himself. He's actually had to be pulled out because of got hurt or stuff.
How'd he get hurt?
Well, being out in the wilderness by yourself, carrying 80 to 100 pounds of camera gear.
Why did he need that much camera gear?
For the show. You never watched Survivor Man?
No, actually, why didn't he had to get somebody, he had to have like more people with him.
No, he does it by himself. That's the whole purpose of Survivor Man. He doesn't have a film crew. When he gets dropped off, that's his film crew. And then they go away. And he gets picked up in a week, and he films in that week.
But how long is he out there? For a whole week?
Yeah.
Then he's going to have supplies besides the 80 pounds of.
No, he doesn't get that. Toward I think the third season, they started giving him really odd things, not survival type stuff, but really odd things. Like he survived in the North Pole. They gave him whale blubber, and it was mainly for the dogs. Like if there's another time where he had horses. They gave him stuff to feed the horses and stuff, but he doesn't get water or food.
He just lives off the land.
Yeah. And sometimes he doesn't eat for that week. But again, you can only go 3 days without water before it starts messing with you.
Carl, when I'm outside working, I have a half-gallon water jug with a block of ice in it. Hey, and Richard, I'm kind of partial to hiking boots. Any boots that have a seam in the toe, I found when the grass is wet, they'll leak.
I'm hoping Walmart has a sale, because I have a hard time buying a pair of shoes that's over $25.
I'll tell you this: since Trump's made a deal with India, each nation is not going to have a tariff. There's the stuff from India is going to be. I predict we're going to see shoes in this country made from India, and they're probably way better made than the stuff from China.
Well, see, that's the thing with India. There, a lot of their material is recycled material, because a lot of our waste ends up there.
I mean, there's some companies that make boots out of full grain leather.
Well, like, and I'm not trying to badmouth ball lids or anything, but the metal that they use to make their lids, just lids, come from India. And the metal that they get is recycled metal. And you could say there's nothing wrong with recycled metal, but this is something that is protecting your food.
It's going to have so much impurity in it.
Mm-hmm. To me, I would rather have metal it's American metal.
Yep.
The metal that Superb uses is from the United States. It's our metal, which is better than any country's.
It's a cleaner metal, just like I've said before. Years ago, okay, you could get strainers for sinks that goes underneath the thing that were made in the U.S. The ones made in China stay stainless steel. They all rust because there's impurities in it.
Mm-hmm. And the really odd thing that nobody understands is ball. Their rings are made out of a very, very, very cheap metal that is not the same metal as the lids. And what happens when two different types of metal is together? There's a chemical reaction, and that's why the lids for the ball lids start to show rust and stuff on them before anything else, because of that chemical reaction. And that's even if you leave the lid on or off, or the ring, because like if you just water bathing, you're going up to a high temperature to seal that seal, and it breaks down the metal in both of them, and you have a chemical reaction with those two different metals. So as soon as you start heating that up, you're already making that metal weaker than it's supposed to be.
Because we got a new stainless steel sink a few years ago, and I was looking underneath there tonight just to make sure it's not rusting yet. Because if you get a stainless steel sink, even the expensive ones, where are they all made? China.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much given anymore.
Yeah, why can't they make this? They got to start making sinks in this country.
Yeah.
It's like we've become too dependent on China. And I know Grace was saying about the best steel comes from Bethlehem. When I was a kid, there were so many. In Pennsylvania, if there was a river, there was a steel mill. Most of them closed. It's a shame. They got to come back in business.
Wahoo fish. Yeah, I got to get my registration or license or whatever it is for my boat. Hopefully,
I didn't know you had a boat.
it's a kayak, but I got a motor, trolling motor on it. So I want to start getting that out. Oh. Hey, Leg. Thank you for becoming a member. Or still a member. Okay.
How did Chicago had a sandstorm?
It comes up from the Midwest.
I got a question. Was it windy in Ohio the past few days?
Yeah.
It's been so windy here.
Yeah, it was windy a couple of days ago. That's probably what you're getting now then.
It's going to cool off here tonight. Actually, the dog didn't like it today. She's sleeping in the cage now. She was restless all day. If she hears the wind, if I had the wind, it's too cold to open the windows. If I had the window open and she hears the wind, she'll start pacing.
Oh, you froze for a little bit.
So it's windy where Grace is too. I didn't even know I was frozen. Thanks for unfreezing me.
Yeah, another thing is, whoops, getting feedback, was oil, cooking oils and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few countries redirecting their shipments.
The only cooking oil we use here is olive oil.
Well, that's one of the oils.
That's all my wife gets is the stuff from Italy. I think she's getting more Friday at ShopRite.
Well, there's a lot of companies that will purchase the olive oil from there in the big old 55-gallon drums, and then they'll package it somewhere else and then send it.
Because she tries to get the kind that's either in glass or the metal container, not the plastic.
Bye, Debbie. Good to see you.
Hey, Debbie.
Yeah, the glass and metal one's so much better. Yeah, avocado is another one. Sunflower, which is still very hard to find, but a lot of the corn oil, some of it's still made here. The vegetable oil, believe it or not, comes from other countries, which doesn't make sense to me, but which I wouldn't touch canola oil.
They were pushing that about 20 years ago. Remember that?
Corn oil.
There were TV commercials saying that was so healthy.
Vegetable oil is another one I wouldn't touch. Yeah. Because vegetable oil has a lot of the soy oil in it.
Well, I like Rotella oil. No, Rotella.
Rotella.
Yeah, for the Kubotas.
Oh.
Because the Kubota dealer said, what do you think's the best, diesel motor oil out there? If I don't buy it from the Kubota dealer, he said, Rotella, the T4. I was making a joke about the oils.
Oh, right now there's only, let me see if I can get it right. Oh, there is 8 million still live right now. 8 million people live right now on YouTube.
How did you find that out?
You go to YouTube stats for, I think it's, streamcharts.com.
Okay.
Yeah. You can get all the information.
I mean, that's the thing. There's people that have shows I've never seen. Because you go to live and it's always the same stuff usually, unless you're a subscriber.
Well, the number one category is entertainment. The next one is news and politics. Third is music. Fourth is gaming. Fifth is people and blogs. The highest live right now is Liga Bazuga.
Never heard of that.
From Sweden, has 160,000 people watching him or her. I don't know what it is. Yeah, there's actually somebody from Turkey getting 98,000 people.
The person that has the most, are they doing the show on their own, I wonder, or do they have?
Here, let me bring it up. See. Oh, he's streaming on Twitch too at the same time. Oh, I don't. They want me to pay for this. I'm not going to pay. Let me just search it real quick.
Hey, Grace, I was talking to my wife about that today, and she was saying there's no way they could have missed that. Even though there's doctors on the mainstream media saying they could have. I don't think he's going to be around too much longer.
Yeah, it's 162,000, almost 163,000. I'm assuming this guy is, well, there's a group of people there.
I wonder if it's in English or the native language.
I don't know. It's MMA, I do believe. They're I don't know. There's a dude with a pink mohawk is doing all the talking.
That's not a good color for hair. Orange, blue, purple. You don't want to talk to those people.
He's talking in a stadium, so he must be a famous person. Yeah, a lot of people are talking in a different language or something. I don't know.
And you say it's Sweden, right?
That's what it said on the thing.
They're kind of socialist over there.
The second one is from Argentina. It's a grand something. I don't want to say the name because I don't know if it's a bad word in a language or something. But yeah. And some top ones, political live stream content sees 56% spike in yearly viewership. Yeah, but you can't talk about half the stuff that you want to talk about in politics.
Well, there's other shows I've watched that are on the R word. You know what I'm talking about? Sounds like Tumble, and some of those channels are having problems too, from what I've seen. They just want to censor everything.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It's their thing, but
well, the censors need to be censored.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I use for mine is bacon grease. I went to the store to Bueller's today, and they had that pieces and slabs for $1.99 a pound for bacon. I bought that up real quick. Uncured, so it doesn't have sugar and all that other crap in it that I'm not supposed to have. Yeah, Spain is another good one. Place to get olive oil.
Spain is another country that makes really good footwear. It's like, okay, Italy and Spain make a lot of clothing, and not of all of it's real expensive. Why doesn't that clothing ever make its way to the U.S.?
Why do we not make our own like we used to? Levi's and all that.
Profit margin.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, the stuff you buy, like in China and stuff, you wear it for a year if you're lucky, and you have to go buy it again. The stuff that, like the 501s, they were probably not the best made at the time, but I wore those for 10 years, if not more. How they can't make money off of that.
Well, the thing is, I remember years ago God, this is in the early 80s, at Bradley's. I got a pair of jeans. I could tell they were heavy denim. They were cotton and polyester. I had a pair of jeans that actually lasted a long time. If they would, any company that makes cotton and polyester, they're not using the heavyweight denim. Even the Levi's have gotten really thin, and they're all outsourced. And even companies like Carhartt, that's most of that isn't made in the U.S. anymore.
Oh yeah, if you go to eBay and look for 501s, they're expensive. Let me see.
Wrangler has some jeans made in the U.S. They don't come in a relaxed fit, and they're almost $200 a pair, and that's way too expensive. Steph, I haven't had a chance to see Matt Gates' new show. It must be on in the afternoon or morning. I'm outside working. And I know the Wrangler rugged wear, they're made in Mexico.
140, 120, 170. These are used ones. They have the knockoff new ones that are 50 to 60 to 100.
Yeah,
used ones are the good ones.
If you go to the Levi website, they don't show the weight of their denim anymore.
Vintage 80s Levi's 501 button flies 3127 $300. 87 vintage Levi's 501 denim jeans 36 by 28 $100. Next one's 90 189. Yes. Makes you wonder, maybe you should go through your closet and get some of the old 80s clothes and see if you can resell it.
Okay, what destroys clothing? These pocket t-shirts, it's the sunlight. It just fades everything. And the same with jeans when they're out in the sun all day. Like nothing except for the footwear I buy, none of my clothes hold up very well.
Oh yeah, Beanie Babies. You know, I actually seen an expert, a Beanie Baby expert, on this one channel I was watching. It was people were coming in and saying how much are my stuff worth and this and that, and he actually smells it, because if it has a smell other than a Beanie Baby, then the price falls, even if it's still in the original packaging. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Which it does make sense.
Well, just like I can't believe the prices. I'm glad I got another one 2 years ago. I was saying one night, this Sony Walkmans, people are finding that were never used in the packaging. They're getting like $100 for one of those.
Oh, more than that for the originals? Not for the radio one that you have, but the original cassette players?
Yeah. Because I remember getting a refurbished one back in 2009. It was $10 and $4.95 to ship. I should have bought more of them.
Yeah, we went to Bueller's, and a thing like this was $57 for, and it was about that big around for beef tallow. I'm like, holy moly! I just would rather render my own down, because beef tallow is really good. It has multiple uses. You just don't cook stuff with it. There are big celebrities right now. That's a big thing that celebrities are doing now. They're using beef tallow is for face cream now, and it's anti-aging. They said that they've looked 20 years younger by putting this stuff on their face. And I'm not, hold on a minute before we get going too much into this.
This channel, Bushcraft Family, cannot and does not contain medical/health advice. The medical/health information is provided for general informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. Accordingly, before taking any actions based upon such information, we encourage you to consult with the appropriate professionals. We do not provide any kind of medical/health advice. The use or reliance of any information contained on the site or our mobile application is solely at your own risk.
Please verify you are a human. I'll wait.
There we go.
The only kind of health advice I would ever give is keep breathing.
Yeah, that 5 button fly. Oh, those were my favorite jeans. Once I put a pair of those on, that's the only jean I ever got. And then I was so mad when I went to go to the store to buy some. Well, we don't sell them anymore. I'm like, why not?
It's probably more expensive to have buttons on them than a zipper.
I don't know. I mean,
because they got to sew they got to sew the hole for the button. And it's just like I was reading online. That's why it's hard to get pocket T-shirts, because that's something else they have to sew on the shirt.
yeah,
They're trying to eliminate as much process as they can to make clothing.
you sure about that, Ziggy? It's hard to tell nowadays.
A few years ago, because these cloth pants only lasted me a year working outdoors in the summer, I bought some Fleet Farm jeans. They're really thin. They've actually held up pretty well. And you know where they're made? China.
Yeah. Beef tallow has a lot of different uses. And it is cheaper, like if you render down for lard, which is the fat from a pig. But you remember in the 80s, McDonald's French fries was cooked in beef tallow. That's why they were so good. That's what made them famous. And then they went to this synthetic crap.
Well, the post you showed reminds me, does anybody notice like a bar of soap, by the time you get down like halfway, it's like hard now in the middle. Soap was better when we were kids. Because my wife uses like that soap that comes in a container like shampoo.
Yeah.
That doesn't get me clean at all.
That's what I use. I can't use that the bar soap anymore. It breaks me out. Something that they changed. I forget what the brand name is that I use now.
Well, they're probably using cheaper chemicals to make the soap.
Yeah.
It's not natural stuff. It's man-made. Byproduct of petroleum, like everything else.
I doubt it's even that.
And like there's the best pennies this area had closed about 4 or 5 years ago at the King of Prussia Plaza.
Say there's I think the one in Zanesville closed. I'm not sure.
What are you doing, Willie? There's one at the Montgomeryville Mall, and that mall's become a ghost town. They used to have a big Eddie Bauer store. The Eddie Bauer store is so small, and the penny store has hardly anything in it. Yeah, I miss Sears and Kmart.
Yeah, goat milk soap is good.
And another store I predict is going to have its downfall. I was never real keen on it. My wife's gotten some good buys online. Is Boscov's. You buy something from Boscov's, you get an ad every week in the mail. You look at what they're spending on postage. And Lake, you're lucky that there's a Penny's there. Like if you go to the King of Prussia Plaza, which is one of the biggest shopping malls in the country, it's all these high-end stores. My wife was looking at pants the other day online at J. Crew, and she said most of the jeans are like $140. The ones on sale were like $80.
I don't know if Mountain Grandma is still in here, but she does a lot of the soap making. She did a lot of research on it, different stuff to make soap with.
And you figure back when this country was founded, people made their own candles.
Oh yeah.
It took a lot of earwax. And I'm surprised Lake has a big pennies there. They're almost all gone in this area. And the thing I've noticed online, you look at Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, a lot of their clothing, their footwear, you look at where it came from, it says imported. So that tells you everything. And like, I can't find clothing at a thrift store that fits me with these short legs.
Well, you got to come to Ohio because it seems like everybody's short over here for some reason.
Well, yeah, but with all the migrants, you think these stores would start having jeans and a shorter inseam?
I think I think there's two people taller than me at the store, so they always bug me to go get something off the top shelf. I'm like, I'm not that tall.
I'll tell you, Tractor Supply has nice jeans that are cheap, but the shortest inseam is 30. And I tried them on in the store once, and I'd have to roll them up. And that doesn't work. If I have to roll pants,
You get a bunch of stuff in them.
yeah, especially like the work I do, there would be dirt sitting in there, tree needles, little stones.
I don't know if you can see the tan line. Try to get it.
You're wearing shorts.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's my sock.
Your sock, yeah.
My feet are like super white.
I never wear shorts out here to work. You know why? Hornets, yellow jackets, snakes, ticks. I haven't found any snakes yet. I'm always concerned that Holly's going to get
Good advice. There you go. Good advice.
You know what I buy at Tractor Supply? Holly's dog food. The 4Health agrees with her.
Oh,
Well, the main ingredient is chicken concentrate, and it's made in the USA.
well, yeah. See, I don't like talking about other places, but well, it depends on what you want to pay because
It's $57.99 for 45 pounds.
yeah, they got some that's chicken is the main ingredient, not byproduct or grain or whatever.
Yeah.
It's chicken.
Yeah, it's chicken concentrate.
No, chicken.
Well, it says chicken.
Concentrate and chicken is two different things. It's chicken, and then they got, vegetables and stuff in it.
It's one of the rare. It's probably the only dry food we got that actually agreed with her.
That would actually be pretty good. You'd want to make sure because that stuff really, the dye in the rose hip would come off, but you'd want to kind of.
This doesn't have any dyes.
We're talking about this, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Not dog food.
Okay. Because I've noticed most of the dog food out there has got dyes in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't find dog biscuits that don't have dye.
Well, you look at, if you open it up and there's like orange and green and different colors, that's usually dyed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all the same thing. It's just certain chunks are different colors.
But the main ingredient in Holly's food is chicken. then chicken meal, then brown rice. Whole grain brown rice. And the thing I found having 3 purebred shepherds is they all have sensitive stomachs. And because Holly's half Carolina dog, she has a really sensitive stomach.
Yeah, it depends if how you start them out too.
Well, we actually
start them out on really high protein puppy food and stuff like that, and their bodies get adapted to that, and then you start trying to give them other stuff, and it just messes with them.
We got that Nitro stuff, the puppy chow when we got her, the Nitro, that was like the same price as the 4Health. And it's hard to find that around here anywhere at a good price. And she's fine with the 4Health beef for the chicken. She's sleeping right now, right next to me. You go, girl, Holly. Plus, we cook chicken for her every 5 days and rice. She ought to be a chicken because she eats so much chicken. And hopefully, I haven't found any ticks on her. All the ticks are getting on me.
Are you a tick magnet?
I have been. Yep. Well, I don't wear a flea collar is the problem. My wife got some flea spray for her. I think that's working on her, but it stinks so bad.
That's probably why it works. And they're like, woo, not getting on this dog.
Well, the vet wanted me to buy the stuff that repels flicks and ticks and fleas with the heartworm preventative, and I'd rather not. I'd rather have a flea collar on her.
Oh, you're talking about that pill that costs like $100?
Well, actually, the next guard, the vet that retired didn't have any of the heartworm preventative medicine, and I bought a 3-month supply of that a year ago, and then I was able to get the stuff from Chewy when she sent a prescription pretty quickly. 3-month supply, that stuff was $120. 3 months.
It's expensive.
But the vet I took Miss Heidi to, this guy was a research vet, is how he started out. He passed away over like 15 years ago. He wasn't keen on any of this kind of stuff. He was saying, if it's going to repel them, just think what it does to their body. All that pesticide being inside them.
Hamburger.
Yeah, we can probably hamburger too, but she likes the chicken better, I think.
Yeah, I think like our cats, they love chicken. They won't stop leaving you alone.
I'm not gonna spray with that thing. Now, this stuff works. It's called natural care. She's getting upset because she doesn't like me handling it. The smell of this stuff is just, it gags you. This is the stuff that really, it's worked to keep the ticks off of her.
Well, does your dog go out running in the tall grass and stuff?
Well, she doesn't go running. When I'm out here working, like today, I have a 100-pound tractor weight I ever tied in the backyard. Later, I'm going to tie her to one of the baler tables. Like when I'm planting trees, little trees, or moving manure with the wheelbarrow, she's tied to the bumper of the truck. I don't let her run loose because this road is like so busy. Like this is a rural road, but everybody uses it to get to another area.
A lot of dust.
I'm not sure what the ingredients are. Man, just holding the container, it stinks, Grace. Now, if I let Holly run loose, she'd probably, between the deer, the groundhog, she, she knows not to go near the road. Like, there's times I untie her when she's tied to the baler table and she runs right into the house. But if there was somebody walking by with the dog, she might get hit by a car.
The neighbor, when he was still alive, he had coon dogs, which I didn't mind because they were good watchdogs and whatnot. But if you went by them in the yard, you would get fleas jumping on you.
That's not good to fleas.
Yeah.
Because then they can, when dogs have fleas, they usually have worms. And we have a neighbor, one of our neighbors across the street. He has his property fenced in, and that Doberman is out there almost 24/7. And she would be tempted to go over there across the street to the fence. Because a few times that Doberman got loose, and they had to come over and get it when she was tied.
Oh, that's cool. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it. I wasn't going to be on this long, but because I got work tomorrow. So fun. But I'll probably be live Wednesday.
Okay.
I think that seems to be the day that they. So far, I haven't, except for my first week, I haven't worked a Wednesday. So that might be the day. And let me go check my schedule real quick.
I guess you're not working evenings again until next week.
No, that's all I work this week is
Days.
okay, that was yesterday. And I actually moved up past somebody else in the list because they keep it they have the full time, and then they have I guess the main workers, or I guess I wouldn't call it seniority because he's worked there longer than I did. They just switched him because his wife is working there or something, but they put him on the bottom. So he gets the odd ups and down one. And I was told that they put a good word in for me for nights. I don't know if that's a good word or not, but because so far I'm the only one that does the trash right. Because that's one of our jobs is we have to do trash. Yeah, Tuesday. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I actually have to go in early tomorrow. I have to go in early all week. Okay.
How early is early?
Just an hour earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is good because I get an extra hour of pay.
What's the average lifespan of an employee there?
For my job?
Yeah.
Like I said, the week that I was doing training and they did the background checks and all that stuff, they had already had 5 people for the job. All of them quit. Most of them quit all of them but one quit the first day. And
one day and they quit, boy.
Yeah. It's like I said, it can be rough, but you just have to pace yourself, not just go like crazy or whatnot. And I got to work Sunday, so I won't be there for the live.
Who's live on Sunday?
The Vineyard Chicks.
Oh, okay.
Survival Seeds. Oh, never mind. Wait. Yeah, I got to work next. Ooh, I only have one day off next week.
they're going to turn you into full time.
I'm still seasonal, so they've already got. They only have one person for full time out there, and who knows? You never know.
Well, a lot of places are doing that. So, well, my dentist is a friend of mine, and the dental hygienists are all part time, so he doesn't have to pay, all the benefits.
Well, that's the thing. Even part time gets benefits. It's not as good as the full time, but
Yeah,
one of the benefits is I can get that goes with it is for my pets. I get 25% off for medication and some other stuff for visits or something like that. But anyways, I'll probably see everybody Wednesday. Probably won't be one Friday, but well, at least I'll be here twice this week. But thanks for hanging out. I know it was another late setup and everything, but it's been hectic though until I get some sort of a system down. It's going to be sporadic. I might go live on a Tuesday or a Thursday, who knows. But thanks for everybody hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Thank you.